Hello, welcome back to my Chasing the Dream playlist of companies that I really respect and want to focus some time and shine a light on as far as a great place to work. And I am a New York-based organization development coach, and I work with my clients to unleash their people's untapped potential. So let's dive right in. Today, I want to talk about a company that I've been meaning to talk about for a very long time. And that company is Morningstar Company. So they're a California-based agribusiness and food processing company that actually was founded in 1970 as a trucking company by Chris Rufer, who remains in place today as the sole owner. And what's exceptional about this company, and I want to spend a little time focusing on, is it was built from its inception with a foundational cornerstone, a value of individual freedom. And the expectation that Chris had and that the company is evolved with in its culture, the expectation that employees take responsibility for holding themselves and their peers accountable and address performance failures directly themselves. And I want to do something. What an amazing concept. You create from the inception an organization that's built on very strong values. From your very beginning, you bring people in who share those values, you empower them, and then you allow them to achieve greatness. So let's dive right into an overview of Morningstar Company, excellence through commitment. So you go to their Wikipedia page, and Morningstar Company is a Woodland, California-based agribusiness and food processing company. It was originally founded as a trucking outfit, as I said, and they process about 40% of all of California's tomato production and supplies a significant portion of the United States industrial tomato paste and diced tomato markets. So you think, okay, there's no way that a company of any size could allow its employees to have control over the day-to-day operations, do the strategy, trust themselves to run the business. Its factories are capable of producing over 3,000 tons of tomatoes per season. It's got approximately 550 full-time employees, pretty darn big, and over 2,500 seasonal workers that they employ during harvest season. The company revenues exceed $1 billion a year. So this is a big American company. As of last October 2023, it's global market leader in tomato processing, supplying approximately 10% of the world's ingredient tomato products. So think about that for a moment. I just want that to kind of wash over you. It's a company that was founded 54 years ago with a focus of empowering its people to take ownership and responsibility of growing the business. Quite successful financially, market leader in its place. So that's to start out. So now I want to share with you a little bit more. So here's a website I love, and if you don't go there, I strongly suggest you do so. It's called Corporate Rebels. I want to kind of take a few snippets about the company from Joost Minnaar. So this is a few years ago, but I want to kind of frame for you Morningstar. So it's a company that was on, and I'm reading what Joost wrote about 7-8 years ago. Here's a company that was on our bucket list since the very beginning of Corporate Rebels. It's also one of the case studies in Frederick Laloux Reinventing Organizations. Morningstar Company is a prime example of a successful self-managing organization. This is what I've been trying to hammer home for about 15 years, that the future, the 21st century future of corporate America is going from those command control pyramid structures where control is held at the top and it's based on fear and stress and pressure. Flatten that by removing all of management, and you're left with what we call a self-managed organization. And Morningstar is a success story for sure. So I want to walk with you through some of the concepts of this company. So I mentioned that the company was founded by Chris Rufer. He's still the sole owner of the company, and it's become the worldwide market leader in tomato processing. And Want to just dive a little bit further into this about its values. So the most surprising thing about Morningstar, as Juice wrote back in 2016, is the fact that the company is entirely self-managing. So think about that. Management, bureaucracy is anathema or opposite to their success. So when it comes to self-management strategies, lots of people, lots of managers, lots of owners, lots of C-suites that I've spoken to, they push back when I suggest we go down this path together. They say it only works for small organizations and it'll never work with low-skilled workers. Those are some of the arguments. Well, the beauty about Morningstar, it proves all of these excuses is just that, excuses, and not based in foundational reality. So there's some conditions that we need to focus on to make sure an organization goes down the path successfully of pursuing a self-managed culture. So condition one, you need a right mindset. And this is driven by a champion. This is driven by somebody, whether the owner or somebody on the senior leadership team who has a significant amount of respect and trust as part of their organizational street credit. So it all starts with principles. Self-management will not succeed when you don't believe in two crucial principles at play, according to Doug Kirkpatrick. The first, people should not use force against each other. This is so freaking contrary to the state of the private sector and corporate America. So let that sink in. First, that people should not use force against others. The second principle that's needed for self-managed employee cultures to succeed is that people should honor the commitments they make to others. You know, one of the things I always get asked when I'm brought in to do a consult or do an assessment with senior leadership teams is, we want to make sure we are accountable. You should never need outside help to ensure that you individually and collectively are accountable. All interactions in a self-managed team, a principle is all interaction should be voluntary. Because if you think about it, isn't that what the role of management does? It facilitates the interaction in its pursuit of controlling employees. So without these two principles, self-managed teams as a directional culture transition will fail. So I want to talk a little bit about the underlying principles beneath these two conditions that are needed for success. It's not about creating a perfect workplace environment, by the way. It's about getting things right as frequently and as close to perfection as you can. So it's not creating a perfect place to world. It's not creating the perfect workplace environment as an end result. It's the journey you go down. So principle one, as I said before, all interaction should be voluntary. If you don't have a boss and you don't have titles and you don't have this command control structural hierarchy, certain things happen. So at Morningstar, it's a perfect example that all the interactions happen by people who are working. They identify they need collaborative assistance and they know where to go to get the right people. So no single colleague at Morningstar can force somebody else to do something they don't want to do. That's the first principle. Principle two, honor your commitments. It sounds pretty darn simple, but for Morningstar, the principle is critically important. This is their value, by the way. When I talk to organizations about transforming, and I say the first thing we need to do is take a look at your vision, your mission, and your values. Values matter a whole heck of a lot. Not what you say in your marketing spin, but what you live and breathe every day in your organization. So if employees don't honor the commitments in principle two at Morningstar that they've made with each other, self-management cannot succeed. If you think about it, any organization that doesn't honor its commitments is going to fail. So condition two, you need a set of mission statements. Here's the other thing that I attempt to convey to my clients. So you've got a few things going on that you can emulate at Morningstar as you think about a framework for transitioning your culture from barely good enough to great. It doesn't mean in a self-managed organization that people are running around day in, day out doing whatever the heck they want. It's about being able to be a part of determining what you need to do and what others do, Kirkpatrick mentions. It's therefore essential to have a clear goal for all employees. And so this is the way it works. At Morningstar, it's pretty simple. And let me tell you something. It's genius in its simplicity. So you think about levels of mission. The first is at the organization, the highest level. So the company has an overall mission statement. So the mission statement of each single department can work up, even though it's an individual department, work up and emulate the mission of the organization. So Morningstar's overall mission is created, and then the department mission comes next. So this is how it works. At Morningstar, their singular focus, their singular mission at the highest level is to produce tomato products and services which consistently achieve quality and service expectations of our customers in a cost-effective and environmentally responsible manner. Boom. That's the mandate. That's from top line. And then one level down, as an employee works in a department, as people work at the next level down, you see the next level of mission statement. So let's say there's a division or a department at Morningstar, it's the tomato kitchens that they operate. Their mission, which plugs into the top line mission, is this: to be a full service tomato ingredient supplier, providing unequivocally superior service and supply chain solution to specialty and geographically unique customers. Again, complete guidance, communicated top line at the highest level through an organization level mission, and then it trickles down so that people understand their own functional team mission that plugs into that. So what's the benefit here? Let's take a look at the benefit. The benefit of the collective mission statements is that every single employee, whether you have 5 or 500,000, every single employee has a clear idea how he, she, they contribute to the purpose of the organization's highest level mission statement. And it keeps people's jobs fluent. You don't need a job title. Yeah, you don't need a job title. So that's something that I wanted to share. It's the core, the nucleus of self-managed teams. So the third condition that's needed for success, at least identified at Morningstar, is something really cool. It's called the colleague letter of understanding. So when you're building a culture and you've got this incredible amount of empowerment, you've given employees true autonomy, you've removed layers of bureaucracy, you've gotten rid of this thing called management, you shifted your focus to leading. Morningstar has an infrastructure in place as part of its culture since it was created to ensure that everyone can easily find out who's responsible for what. If you think about that, you need that, right? You got to have that, because if I'm responsible for going to people who are going to help me accomplishing what I need to accomplish and work collaboratively, I've got to know who I can reach out to. So when you go to their intranet site at Morningstar, they include what's called a self-managed organization colleague letter of understanding. It's literally a very short document. That's also key. The shorter, the sweeter. If you can say it in more, say it in less. Keep it simple. It's a short document that details an employee's personal commercial mission and all the commitments that they've made with employees who are affected by their work. So if you think about the organization without any management and removing this pyramid structure, you've got all of these little individual and then team circles. And then you can see the collaboration is where the circles of interdependency overlap, where people then will need to and want to work together. So that's condition 3. You need a process, condition 4, for clear resolution of conflict. Let me just say this. Conflict is not something to be avoided. Conflict is something to be embraced with respect and humility, that you know that each scenario is an opportunity to build stronger relationship. It's not always I win, you lose. In fact, there are four ideas of conflict, right? Win, lose, win, win-win, and win-lose, and they're all situationally appropriate. So whenever a conflict occurs at Morningstar, a disagreement or problems arise, they have to be solved, those problems, by employees themselves. You're not looking outward to somebody else to come in, manager, and enforce their will and demand resolution. It's not childish and conflict avoiding, passive aggressive. And you know, as well as I, in nearly every organization, that's the modus operandi, is passive aggressive and conflict avoidance. You got to fix it yourself at Morningstar. And it helps to have, in fact, dare I say, it's critical to have an established, successful process of conflict resolutions. So employees start out when they have conflict with others, talking to each other. What a novel concept. Engaging in conversation. No complaining, gossiping to others, because that's the other thing. Gossip kills, it creates toxic culture. This is common, by the way. This is common to anybody above the age of 5. And then if you need what they call a confidential ombudsman, somebody who's an objective intermediary, they can step in. And then if you don't resolve the conflict, you seek out a third party. So that's another condition that's required for success. Condition 5 is, and here we go. Here we go. In the 21st century, the transition or transformation in culture that's needed for success. We go from management, which is dead, it's 20th century, to leadership, which is 21st century. It's the path forward for transforming organizations. The importance of having a trusted leader in place is the most clear condition we've seen at Morningstar. Chris Rufer, remember the founder who's still in place, is not the only person who initiated this unique self-managing way of getting things done. He's, as the founder, of vital importance. So these are the kinds of things I want you to pay attention to. So other stuff that I wanted to share, which I just think is so friggin' cool at Morningstar. So you go to their LinkedIn page, right? You go to LinkedIn, the Morningstar company, and you can follow along as I do and watch their stuff. But I want to share with you a video because I love this. I'm going to play a video for you to welcome in on their LinkedIn page to all their followers the start of the new year.
Greetings, everyone. I'm James Sherwood from the Morningstar Packing Company, and I'm thrilled to be with you today to unveil the exciting kickoff of our journey into 2024. I'm here today at our state-of-the-art greenhouse facility, California Master Plant, where the magic begins for our tomato seeds, evolving from delicate beginnings to the vibrant fruits you love. As we speak, some seeds are being carefully sown into trays.
Just a really brief interjection is how powerful. This is storytelling at its most basic and elemental. They're showing you exactly how the day starts, the season starts, the yearly cycle starts at Morningstar. They're inviting you into their world.
While others have already blossomed into tiny plants. For a select few, the countdown has begun. Just under a month until they find their new home in the fields, ready to flourish and contribute to our summer harvest.
Master Plant is the top provider for high quality plants in California. Capacity here at Master Plant is currently 310 million plants, which will give us just about 40,000 acres for California. We are actually currently planning and designing an expansion that will give us about 60% increased capacity from where we're at in a few years from now. As part of the innovation efforts that we get here at California Master Plant, we've been incursioning in grafting technologies from which we hope that we will add value to the growers by getting a more resilient plant at the end of the journey.
So 2 things very quickly that I just want to interject. 2 thoughts about this. First of all, you'll notice no titles necessarily of SVP, no titles of somebody who's anointed grand poobah. These are the people who are closest to the work. Let me say this again, because I think it bears repeating and it bears taking in and processing. The people who are closest to your work understand what needs to be done better than middle management, which is why there is none here, and certainly better than those who are so far removed from the day in, day out challenges and opportunities. So that's first of all. Second is, what a compelling story. You're taking those people who what we call stakeholders, but all the people who interact inside and outside the organization, you're taking them on a journey with you. So inside the organization are employees, full-time and seasonal. Outside the organizations are clients, the media, people in the regulatory environment. Anybody inside and outside the organization who touches the company is definitely involved in Morningstar's telling the story, because that's how you build a tribe. That's how you build a passionate following of people who can be your VIP brand ambassadors. So that's that thought. I want to also walk you through something that I think is kind of cool. When you go to their website and you look under the product domain, there's a kind of a cool video. And I just wanted to share it with you, and then I'll just kind of interject maybe once or twice, I promise. But I just want to share the video of them showing you what it's like or what's involved when they bring clients from the outside into Morningstar to experience their product line firsthand.
Hi, I'm Eric. I work in innovation and R&D here at the Liberty plant at Morningstar. Today, we're setting up for a tomato cutting panel. We have two objectives when we bring customers in. We want to show them what our products are. We want to show them how to use our products. And then we also want to show them some of the new innovation that we're constantly working on to give them ideas. So one of the first things we do is try to show them the full range of tomatoes. So we have them taste a tomato concentrate, harvesting the sweetness of the tomato, and this is harvesting the savory umami. So we call this our clarified tomato concentrate.
So I won't get too bogged down in the world of tomatoes, I promise, but I think it's really instructive to show you that this is the world that they live in. They open up their doors and bring their guests in, their customers, to experience what they do with them. That's powerful. Now, you'll notice that in world-class organizations who empower their people, you don't need to get these kind of initiatives vetted or approved by an internal PR department or an external agency, that there aren't only certain employees who are allowed to talk to the media. Hell no. Again, it gets back to a fundamental truism I said before. In world-class organizations that unleash their people's untapped potential, there's none of this. I cannot understand. This is why I wrote my book, The Compassionate Organization, in 2018. After researching this for, about 10 years, companies like Morningstar understand fundamentally that to get the most financial success and long-term business competitive advantage, they've got no choice. They've got to empower their people and let their people shine. This is the last thing I wanted to show you, and then we'll wrap up today. Is I really wanted to, the Tomato News Conference. This is October 2023, but it's called Tomato Bites. And it's a way for them, Morningstar, to share what's going on. It's called Tomato Bites by Morningstar. And they update their internal populace, their employees, because honestly, I don't know how many times I have to say this, but I'll say it again. Your clients are not the most important thing that your business exists to serve. In fact, if you take care of the first group of stakeholders, you don't have to worry about your clients and market share and financial performance, believe it or not. If you take care of your employees, you find the best, you bring the best in, you empower them to be the best version of themselves, you won't ever have to worry about your clients again. Take that to the bank. So, I'd like to thank you for checking in on yet another video. If you like what you heard or you thought it was interesting, please be sure to subscribe and like and absolutely share this video, and come back often, as I will be consistently highlighting those organizations that live and breathe the ethics and the values that what I've been saying, the compassionate organization of the 21st century, has got to start doing in order not just to succeed, but to thrive. Thank you.